I said Malcolm alleged that some of Elijah's women were underage secretaries, and can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them. I seen them myself. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
He took at least 9 that we know about. And I'm not speculating because he told this to me himself.
It's what?
I said Malcolm alleged that some of Elijah's women were underage secretaries, and can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them. I seen them myself. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
He took at least 9 that we know about. And I'm not speculating because he told this to me himself.
It's what?
I said Malcolm alleged that some of Elijah's women were underage secretaries, and can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them. I seen them myself. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
He took at least 9 that we know about. And I'm not speculating because he told this to me himself.
It's what?
I said Malcolm alleged that some of Elijah's women were underage secretaries, and can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them. I seen them myself. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
He took at least 9 that we know about. And I'm not speculating because he told this to me himself.
It's what?
I said Malcolm alleged that some of Elijah's women were underage secretaries, and can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them. I seen them myself. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
He took at least 9 that we know about. And I'm not speculating because he told this to me himself.
It's what?
I said Malcolm alleged that some of Elijah's women were underage secretaries, and can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them. I seen them myself. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
He took at least 9 that we know about. And I'm not speculating because he told this to me himself.
It's what?
I said Malcolm alleged that some of Elijah's women were underage secretaries, and can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them. I seen them myself. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
He took at least 9 that we know about. And I'm not speculating because he told this to me himself.
It's what?
I said Malcolm alleged that some of Elijah's women were underage secretaries, and can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them. I seen them myself. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
He took at at least 9 that we know about. And I'm not speculating because he told this to me himself.
It's what?
I said Malcolm alleged that some of Elijah's women were underage secretaries, and can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them. I seen them myself. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
Yo, we got a show tonight. Yo, how's everybody feeling, man? Hey, what's up, New York? What's up? JP with JQ, Keno, big homie Coop, what it do? K-Dub, Maximilian, hey, Corey Lee, Boxy, Birdman, number 3, Adolfo, the Giants 3-1, KB, Mark J. Y'all already know we about to have some fun with this motherfucker tonight. Hey, yo. Hey, we about to have some fun tonight. Yo, this is getting good. Oh, man, how's everybody doing, man? Hey, everybody, I'm gonna allow you to pray to your God, Al Haymon, and ask for forgiveness right now. Our Father, our heaven, which art be not in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in Vegas. Give us this day our daily bread, and please give us more than one fight a year. In your name we pray. Amen. Hey, everybody knows Al Haymon is a fucking scumbag now. Fucking scumbag. And y'all thought I was hating on the man. Oh, yeah. Oh, there you go. Hating on Al Haymon again. But we gonna get it started with Tank Davis, man. And I'm just gonna tell y'all niggas, because you know, now everybody's receptive to me now. Everyone's like, oh yeah, man, you're a genius, man. How did you know? How did you know? How did you know? How did you know, brother? How did you know, brother? Brother, how did you know? Well, let's share this first, man. Let's share this. Why did Tank Davis call Floyd Mayweather a bitch? I took your bitch. Hey, Tank, like I took your hoe. I'm not gonna say what else he took, but I took your hoe and you a bitch. Hey, yeah, she mine, nigga. She mine, nigga. Hey, ain't nothing worse than calling the nigga a bitch and taking his bitch. Ain't nothing. Hey, Floyd, man, how you let this 23-year-old kid from Baltimore steal your bitch, man? Floyd got his bitch taken, man. I told you guys. Oh, Fred. Come on now. I told y'all a year ago, December. Y'all remember? Oh, yeah. Fred, you over there hating on the young bull, man. Yeah, man, you hating. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I told you. Calvin Ford don't really like the shit, but he couldn't speak up. And you know, Tank did a post and delete today, but you know, we got 70,000 supporters out in this motherfucker, man. So you know, my Instagram lit the fuck up. I appreciate y'all sending it to me because that motherfucker delete. You know, he do a post and delete. You got like 13 and a half minutes, and then Tank Davis gonna delete the shit. Hey, Tank Davis. First off, hey man, I should have had that fucking load. I took your bitch, nigga. Get money, nigga. Yeah, I took your bitch, nigga. Get money. Hey, let's see what y'all don't know who she is, man. Let's Google Yaya, man. Let me show y'all. I took your bitch, nigga. Let me go to Instagram, man. This nigga got his bitch taken, man. Yaya's world. I think this is her. No post. Oh yeah, here's the girl. Here's the girl that Tank took from Floyd. Y'all need to see this, man, because I only come with statistics. Yeah. What up, yeah? I should call her. I have her number. You know what I mean? I should not from hitting on her, but just because from her being around, you know. and she wanted some videos that I had from the Conor McGregor stuff. But yeah, man, here's Yaya, man. Floyd bought her a Bentley, dog. Floyd bought her a Bentley. I was there. He bought her a Bentley. Let's see if, man, the nigga bought her a Bentley, dog. Yeah, Floyd care. Yeah, Floyd cares. See, y'all don't know. See, y'all just on the outside looking in, sucking Floyd's dick. Hey, Floyd, can I get a picture, Floyd? Hey, Floyd, I know you I know you think I'm a piece of shit, but can I just can I lick, excuse me, can I lick your balls? Shout out to Yaya. Shout out to Yaya, man. Hey, Tank the disrespected Floyd on every fucking level, dog. Shout out to Tank Davis, man. Hey, it's a celebration this motherfucker tonight. Shout out to Tank Davis, man. Hey, what you gonna do? Take my credential, nigga? Hey, nigga Floyd. Oh, man. How does Floyd look, man? He got his bitch taken, man. You know what I mean? The shit, man. It's awful, man. It's awful in the hood, man. Floyd, man. It's awful, man. This nigga done called him a bitch. Man, let's pull this back up for a second, man. We got to see this again. This nigga done called Floyd a bitch, man. How you do this, man? Why you do this to your promoter, man? Why you do this to your promoter, man? Man, this is funny as hell, man. This is funny, man. But on the real deal, man, let's get into why y'all here, man. Why? Lil Steven, man. Lil Stevie. Hey, Lil Stevie. I ain't talking about Stevie Wonder. I'm talking about Lil Steven Espinoza, man. That nigga Lil Steven Espinoza, man, done got himself in a conundrum, man. He looking up to Al Haymon like, please, man, I need my job, man. I like this penthouse I got overlooking Wall Street. Hey, you got to get this deal done, Al, because I need the ratings, Al. Al, I need the ratings. Ever since we done dealt with each other, the stock has been cut in half. We ain't got nothing, man. I'm losing. The ratings are terrible. We only got 150,000 on the what's that guy's name? We gonna get 150,000 views on Fundora. We not even promoting Fundora. You know what I mean? Al, I know I tried to go behind your back and get Fundora. I know I tried to go to Cameron Duncan. I know I went to Lou DeBella. I know I went through Samson. I know Floyd, but I know Al, but please, Al, I need your stable to stay in business, man. But you just got to give me one thing. And then Al is looking at him like Goldie. I just want you to call me daddy. I just want to be yo mama. I just want to be yo daddy. I just want to be yo, nah. Get the fuck out of here, no-fly zone. Go suck a gay man's dick. We ain't talking about nobody's daughter, man. Fuck you. I want to be yo daddy. I want to be yo mama. Oh, please. But you got to do one thing for me, Steven Espinoza. What's that, daddy? What's that, Al? You got to do everything I tell you to do, baby. Because I want to be your mama, your daddy, your papa. Can you dig it? Can you dig it, little Stevie? I can dig it. I can dig it, Al. This nigga Al done pimp Steven Espinoza so bad, man. And then now y'all gotta look at me and be like, Fred, you were right. Hell yeah, I was right. Y'all over there sucking Floyd's dick, calling Al Haymon Messiah. I done seen 100 fighters. Hey, I just want to thank Al Haymon. What about your parents? No, I'm not. It wasn't my parents. It was all Al Haymon. Al Haymon. But on the real deal, man, Steven Espinoza is on the verge of becoming Peter Nelson. You know what I mean? He's definitely on the verge of becoming Peter Nelson. And Peter Nelson, it was the man in charge of HBO. And Steven Espinoza, the ratings are down, fights are down, stock has been slashed in half, and him and Al Haymon are fighting vigorously. And Al will not deliver the fights that he desires. It's really like that, man. It's really like that, man. And truth be told, a lot of these fighters are suffering. A lot of these fighters are suffering. And as I told you guys, I heard a fighter on the Boxing Voice say he had to go be a motherfucking one of those helpers at a wedding because he can't get a full-time job because every week he gets a call, get ready for camp, get ready for camp. And no fight happens. You know, he's been out of the ring now 7 months, you know, and it's time that we get Al Haymon out of boxing. It's time for Al Haymon to release all these fighters. All these fighters need to be released by Al Haymon. All of them, because Al Haymon is doing nothing but hurting the sport of boxing. The fact that this man hides in his little valley home and never becomes public, we should question that. We don't know if the man is gay. We don't know if he's straight. We don't know if he's Catholic, Christian, agnostic, atheist. We know nothing about this man. The fact that all these fighters got to say thank you, Al Haymon, lets you know that it's a fucking cult. Oh, it's a cult. Oh, because his last name ain't Farrakhan or Habib, that don't mean it's not a cult. Al Haymon is destroying the sport of boxing. Now we all can say Bob Arum was right. We all can say Frederick was right. If this doesn't happen, I'm just going to tell you this. These fighters will suffer immensely. They will lose relationships. They will lose houses. They will lose cars. And they will lose their boxing career, amongst other things. And it's time for every media member. It's time for every fighter, every manager, every trainer to stand up and say, Al Haymon, you either make the fights or get off the pot. But here's the problem. Where's Al Haymon going to get $100 million from? We got to put this in perspective. Yeah, smash that like button. I appreciate Cincinnati. We got to put this in perspective. Bob Arum has ABC, ESPN, and Disney. Al Haymon can't even smell that shit. He can't even go nowhere near that. Right? We know that. Now let's go to Fox. Fox has literally said, we ain't giving you no motherfucking money, Al. No, you pimped us, dog. You fucking pimped us. You said we was going to do 3 to 5 million views every time we touched a fighter. You said you was going to deliver the best fights in the game, but you didn't. So you know what we going to do? We going to pimp you now, nigga. We going to pimp you. You got to pay to be on our shit now. We ain't giving you no money. We'll give you the network. Oh, sure. We ain't got nothing popping on October 15th. You know what I mean? Yeah, we can get a network. And guess what we gonna do? We taking 50% off top. We taking 50% off top. And there's nothing you can say or do about it. And if you don't, where you gonna go? Now let's go to CBS, which is now Paramount Global. All y'all was saying, oh, he gonna get a deal with Paramount Plus. I'm sitting there trying to tell you niggas, he can't get a deal with Paramount Plus because guess what? That's Showtime. That's CBS. It's all one umbrella. Those are subsidies of Paramount Global now. Al Haymon done run its course. Al Haymon used this legal Ponzi scheme. He cost Adrian Broner close to $50 million with Jay-Z. He cost Deontay Wilder $120 million. He cost, check this out with Deontay Wilder. Because the nigga wanted to do so, because he wanted to be this global guy. He wants to be a globalist. You know that political term, a globalist. He wanted to invade the UK. He wanted to take over America. He wanted to put Bob Arum out of business. He wanted to make Golden Boy out of business. So the man just signed every fighter he can put his hands on because he had $1 billion, right? Now, what he wanted to do was bring Eddie Hearn on in. Remember Kell Brook versus Sean Porter? Y'all remember? If you go watch that fight, you'll see Eddie Hearn in every shot. I was there. You'll see him in every shot. Sean Porter in every shot. Him jumping up and down and And then on top of that, remember Kell Brook used to fight on Showtime. Don't forget that. And don't forget Anthony Joshua had a 6-fight deal. Now, you know what he did to Deontay Wilder? He said, fuck Deontay Wilder. Fuck that nigga. I want Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua looks the part. He is the part. He's an Olympic gold medalist. He has a whole country behind him. Anthony Joshua has a whole country behind him. Where have you heard that from? Al Haymon love motherfuckers with country behind him. I'll give you $50 million. Canelo, I'll give you $50 million just to show up. Because you got a whole country behind you. Now look at the nigga. Charles Martin was supposed to fight Deontay Wilder in New York. That fight was set up. Charles Martin was supposed to knock out that Russian. Deontay Wilder he did his part. Deontay Wilder did his part. And guess what Al Haymon did? Nah, we're going to go get that bag, man. We're going to go get that bag. Go get that bag. How come Al Haymon couldn't pay Charles Martin to defend his belt against Deontay Wilder? That changed the whole course of this shit. When you don't do right, it's like a cheap suit, man. The shit just de-threads itself. Charles Martin was the beginning of the end for PBC. Charles Martin had a chance to be the heavyweight champion of the world, man, on American soil. He went over there in them tight ass brown shorts, man, and got the shit beat out of him. He should have did that shit over here in America. He made a lot of money, yeah. Yeah, he made a lot of money. So there we have it, man. And then Deontay Wilder had a big deal on the table. Now, granted, the Zone did come out and say they made some mistakes. But when you got $120 million on the table, guaranteed, and you know the money's good now we know the money's good because of Triple G's contract and because of Anthony Joshua's contract. Deontay Wilder would have gotten that $120 million. He would have knocked out Chisora, Dillian White, and Anthony Joshua. And he would be knocking on right now. Deontay Wilder would be what a fucking throw and catch. Deontay Wilder would be knocking on the door at Floyd's Mayweather 50-0 right now. The whole shit would be different. For real. Tyson Fury would still be 400 pounds. Al Haymon fucked this whole shit up. Al Haymon gave this nigga Tyson Fury a year to get in shape. Fuck that. Nigga, you fighting next or you're not fighting at all. Fuck giving this nigga a year to get in shape. This nigga kissed a gay man, fought 2 fights, came back to America 260 pounds, man. We gave that man a year to lose 100 pounds, man. Come on, man. But you know, Al Haymon just wanted the money, man. Al Haymon used this legal Ponzi scheme. Him and man, let me bring this shit up. See, y'all need to. I know. I haven't done this in a long time. It's been since August, the last time I did a video on Ryan Caldwell. Ryan Caldwell and Al Haymon. Y'all need to see this shit. Y'all need to understand how man, listen. Let me find it right here. And if you got a fighter, y'all need to see this shit. Check out how disgusting this shit is. Ryan Caldwell. Let's see if I can find this shit. It's a big ass article. Oh, they coming. Oh, Richard Schaefer gonna spill some beans too. Oh, he ain't got no. Okay, here it is right here. Found it. Let's share this. Here it is right here. I'm going to read this here. We got time tonight. We got time. Because I told y'all this day was coming. Y'all called me a hater. I'm sitting there trying to save Deontay Wilder's brother. You know what I mean? Shit. Can y'all see this? Now check this shit out. I'm going to read this. The role of Ryan Caldwell, who left Waddell and Reed last year to join Haymon as chief operating officer of PBC, and then departed from PBC soon after to form his own asset management company, also subject to conjuncture. On February 5th, 2016, New York lawyer named James Jamansky sent out a press conference announcing that his law firm was investigating the departure of Mr. Caldwell from Waddell and Reed and whether the funds breached duties owed to shareholders. Zamansky sounds like a lawyer looking for a plaintiff for a possible class action lawsuit. Let me find that other part. But y'all need to know who Ryan Caldwell is. I got to find out because so y'all do know okay. Let me find out who so y'all can see Ryan Caldwell. I have it. I think this might be it. Is it long? Damn, this shit ain't that long. But I want y'all to see what Ryan Caldwell and Al Haymon did. Okay, boom. Here it is right here. Y'all really need to see this shit. Because y'all got to understand how these men in suits, man, be literally robbing the people, man. Can y'all see this shit? Okay, good. Y'all can see it. All right. All right. Naturally, this requires massive amounts of funding. And they're talking about how they got all these networks and all these fighters and all this. But now let's pick it up from here. Naturally, this requires a massive amounts of funding. I'm right here, guys. Hundreds of millions of dollars, which came from the asset management company Waddell and Reed via fund manager Ryan Caldwell. As Caldwell put it, you have to be capitalized for 3 to 5 years to do this, to weather the storm, because in some regards, you were going to be the irrational player for a while. You're turning the model completely upside down. So like I said, they want to take over boxing. But here, let's go to the next. Now, Ryan Caldwell is who? The manager of what? He's the fund manager at Waddell and Reed. But look what happens. Well, turning the business model upside down seems to have made some shareholders of Waddell and Reed extremely unhappy. Zach Arnold was first to discover in February lawsuit Kansas City federal court filed against Waddell by shareholders of funds purportedly invested in Haymon's corporate entities. The investors are looking to recover at least $300 million and perhaps as much as $925 of losses and other damages as a result of willful and gross breaches of fiduciary duties towards shareholders. Basically, Ryan Caldwell had illegally took the funds because he was the overseer of it. Now let's go back down here. Here it is right here. You guys need to understand this. The potentially criminal element derives from Haymon's possible indictment by the U.S. Department of Justice and the ongoing antitrust lawsuit by Golden Boy and Top Rank. Haymon and his corporate entities in Los Angeles federal court allege attempts to monopolize and alleged violation of the Muhammad Ali Act. Now, remember when I told you he made that deal? He was attempting to make a deal with who? Eddie Hearn, remember? Now, according to the complaint of an unnamed hedge fund had previously declined to invest in boxing promotion company because revenues went to the fighters, making the investment unprofitable. Do you understand this? Do you understand this line? Do you understand this line? I'm going to repeat it again and put on your thinking cap. According to the complaints of an unnamed hedge fund had previously declined to invest in a boxing promotion company because revenues went to the fighters, making the investment unprofitable. You says, Fred, what does that mean? Yeah, you overpay the fighters. And guess what? You take your percentage from the fighters and you drain the hedge fund. Do you understand that shit? You willfully drain the hedge fund. Hey, I'll pay you $200,000 to sign with me. I'm gonna get 20% on the front, and I'm gonna get 20% being the hedge fund manager. Now you say, why did Ryan Caldwell go over to Al Haymon and work with him? Because in the last article, you guys realized that he joined him, right? Because he wanted to oversee the money. The money, honey, the money. He says, no, you ain't about to trick me out of this money. Shit, this a deal. We either gonna make this money together or we going to hell together. We either going to jail for a lifetime or we gonna be 9-figure men for a lifetime. Nah, this is way worse than DAZN, because DAZN is coming from a private. Remember, DAZN comes from sponsorships, private money, and subscriptions. It's different. This is literally your grandmother's retirement. This is what this is. Now let's keep going. And it's funny. See exactly what I just told you. See how I understand business? I ain't even read the next chapter, the next paragraph. Look, according to the plaintiff, Caldwell believes Haymon's loss purchase of fighter contracts was an undervalued call option with a high risk, but a very high return. But from the looks of things so far, it has been all risk with very little return. See what I told you? Yeah, I can give you $5 million to come over to PBC. All I'm trying to do is get rid of this money. You ever heard that notion? If you had $100 million in a day, how would you spend it? Al Haymon had $1 billion to spend in 3 years. What would you do? You're looking at it right now. This is it. Here we go. Let's keep going. 900. Oh my gosh. The complaint reports alleged investment amounts which allowed Bloody Elbow to calculate each fund's apparent to-date losses to market. According to the complaint, there were 6 investments into MGH Holdings of a total of $925 million. Huh. This is insane. Fucking sane. Damn. This article is old, but now you understand the picture in which I was trying to paint for y'all. Damn. Man, this is sad. I'm looking at this shit. This is sad. So here we have it. When we are in October of 2022, Al Haymon intentionally drained the swamp. He intentionally spent all that money because he took 20% from the fighters. You know, Al Haymon percentage was a minimum of 20%. And he also got paid from the hedge fund. So every time he paid the fighters, how much you need? 5 million? What's 20? Let's hypothetically say he got 20% of a $5 million contract. That's $100,000. That's $500,000. If he gets 10%, and you just keep on draining. This man was giving out contracts. Now you understand what Bob Arum was saying. When you're using other people's money, this is what it looks like. When y'all be donating to them FBAs and IRAs and ADOS and everybody else with these motherfucking letters on YouTube, this is what happens. You're funding their lifestyle. This man, Al Haymon, is a fraud. He is a fraud. He tricked all these fighters. You know, I love you, man. I love you. How's your mama doing? I'll take care of you, man. Don't sign with Bob Arum. He's a blue-eyed devil, man. Oh, yeah, he's a blue-eyed devil. Don't sign with him. The whole time, this man didn't buy a fucking gym. He didn't buy an office building. Didn't the fact that he doesn't want young fighters, the fact that he doesn't pursue young fighters leads you to believe that what? He wants to get out this motherfucker. And guess what? He's still going to own the talent. So no matter where they go, he's going to own them. It's not by accident every fighter got to say thank you, Al Haymon. Think about the shit, man. Come on, let's put our thinking caps on for a second. That's a cult. Imagine the Church of Scientology. I want to say first, it's like every time you go to church, first giving honor to God, who's the head of my life. I just want to thank him. What's up, Michael? Hey, what's up? I just want to.
Hey, can you hear me?
Very well.
Okay, yeah. Hey, so 20% of 5 million is
500.
$1 million.
Oh, it's $1 million. Thank you for correcting me.
Yeah.
Wow.
But the engineer and mathematics and me couldn't allow that to slide, Fred.
Oh my God.
But anyway,
Thank you for correcting me.
nah, no problem. But look, man, what does ADOS and FBA, what's that have to do with this?
No, I'm saying like when people donate money, it has nothing to do with this. I'm talking about people, other people's money.
Yeah, I don't. You putting out a lot of information I wasn't aware of. I didn't know what was going on with Al Haymon and PBC.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing that rings out to me, I'm just a fundamentalist.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that rings out to me that I've got a problem with is Al Haymon, PBC, and Errol Spence when they avoided the Crawford fight before now and wanted to fight Ugas. A lot of people said, "Hey, we're not going to watch that fight because we want to see you fight the person that you're supposed to fight now, which is Terrence Crawford." And so PBC and Errol Spence came out and they literally promised the fans that right after this fight, we're going to fight Terrence Crawford. So please support Errol Spence in his fight against Ugas. And that was the one, because I actually was not going to support that Ugas fight, Spence Ugas fight. I wasn't, because I felt like they were giving Crawford a raw deal. So I said, okay, I'm going to take the man at his word. I'm going to take Errol Spence at his word. I'm going to take PBC at their word. They said that they're going to put the fight together after the Ugas fight so we can go ahead and support the Ugas fight. And they're going to give the fans what we deserve, what we're asking for. As a result of that, I just went ahead and bought the Ugas fight. Now they're coming back and they're not making a fight. So for me, being a fundamentalist, I believe in integrity. What you got to hold on to your word. They just basically lied to me to get my money. They lied to me to get me to support the Ugas and Spence fight, and now they're not delivering. They're not delivering the Terrence Crawford and Spence fight as they promised they would, as both Errol Spence and PBC promised that they would. And this is the 1,000-foot view. This is not all the details that you have. It's the fundamental view. So for me, I'm not supporting any more PBC fights. I'm done. Until you respect me enough and my dollar enough to keep your word, I'm not buying any more PBC fights. Period. I don't care who's fighting on the card. And up to this point, I pretty much bought them all. I bought the last fight with Ortiz and Ruiz. Bought that, but no more. I'm done. You lie to me, take my money and lie to me and disrespect me like that. And I think everybody should think about this, right? Don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. I mean, when it's all said and done, you guys, Errol Spence And PBC promised that they would make this fight next in an effort to get support for the Ugas fight, because there was a large contingent of people that made a decision they were not going to support the Ugas fight because Terrence Crawford was up next. They made that promise. Make good on your promise. I guarantee you won't get another dollar from me. I will not support any more PBC fights until they or Errol Spence fights. I mean, I don't want to take it out on Errol. I don't. But I definitely don't. I'm definitely not going to fight anymore. Support any more PBC fights. That's it. I'm done until they make that Spence Terrence Crawford fight and keep their word. I'm done. They won't get another dollar from me. That's my point. Yeah. The boxing aspect of it.
I mean, and I believe that is a very fair approach. L wants to come in and say something. Hey, what's up, L?
What up, Fred? What up, Mike?
Okay.
Look, man, this comes as no surprise to me. You know, I didn't think that things would, play out the way it has, but eventually the ship sinks, and before the sink and the fall, there's a multitude of things that happen that are unsettling and will cause confusion, as what we are seeing now. But again, like we talked about this years ago, Fred, Al Haymon, I'm not mad at Al Haymon. I'm disappointed in him. But like I mentioned before, there's no way in hell, I don't care who you are, there's no way in hell you can play this game, this financial game, in this world that we live in. You have to play by their rules. Their rule says this: you will fall in line, and I don't care what you feed the people, what you feed your constituents, whatever. You're going to do as we tell you to do. Al Haymon, when you really look at it, I can't knock the brother. You know why? Because he did everything the same way anybody else would have did it. Yeah, some things didn't work out. Yeah, a lot of lies were told. But what business is honest, though? Like I always say, I don't believe in honest business ethics, especially when it's a lot of money on the line. Like you mentioned, this dude had $1 billion at his disposal. He played the game how he was supposed to play. How many people with $1 billion in front of them to do what they please with it gonna actually split the pie up fairly? It's not gonna happen. So why is it such a surprise that Al Haymon is doing this? Why? Because he's black? Shit, nigga, that green card is wrong.
Man, hey, here's the thing with me, man, and a lot of people accuse me of just being, well, I had some folks accuse me of being racist and all kinds of stuff, right? But for me, man, I don't really care about that. What I care about is what's right and what's wrong. I care about what's right and what's wrong. When I say something against something or someone, it has nothing to do with like a personal issue. It has to do with their behavior, with their actions. If a man, if he tells me something indirectly, even indirectly, I expect him to follow through on it. You can't lie to me and expect me to give you more of my money.
Of course. And see,
yeah.
Fred will know more because we had a lot of these conversations. And I made a point back then. I said, do you want to know why Al Haymon don't ever show his face? There's a reason why a man don't show his face in public.
Why?
He already knew all along. Look, if a man is in public and if he's in contact with the public, he got to answer questions. He's going to be interviewed. There's going to be moments where you can interrogate him and people going to do it. You can get away so long, but the man, he was thinking way ahead. He thought about the long game. Like he made off with the money. He good to go. See, I always knew.
I don't have any respect for that.
No, of course. I'm not saying I got respect for it, but everybody, every guru done did it in some
Well,
form
here's
or
the
another.
thing, though. Just because everybody does it, that don't mean it's right.
I'm
Here's
not
what I'm
saying
saying, man.
I'm not saying it's right because it's not
And
right. But again,
and
like I mentioned,
the measurement of a man,
of course,
ultimately
it's what he say with his mouth
is his integrity, man.
and
It's
his
his
word.
integrity. If your
I
word ain't
agree.
worth a damn, you ain't worth a damn. Okay?
No,
And so for me, when you come to me and you tell me, hey, continue to support our efforts at PBC while we put on this Ugas Spence fight, because we're gonna give you the fight that you really want next, and then you come back and tell me you're not gonna do it, you just told me a damn lie to get my money. I'm, I've got a little education behind me, but I'm still off, I came from the hood. You can't play me like
right.
that.
No, I get
Right? And
it.
then
No,
expect me to still respect you as a man. I don't do business with people who don't do business on the square, man. I
no,
don't.
I agree. You know, like I'm pro fighter first, man. But if you as a fighter don't have the know-it-all or don't care to hire someone that is more intelligent than you or has more knowledge of contracts and things of that nature, then you leaving yourself as a sitting duck to just be ran over because it ain't no friends in business, man. Like Al Heyman with $1 billion at his disposal. Come on, man. It's like I always say, man. I don't believe in honest business ethics. I just don't believe in that. I don't believe in it because I've never seen anybody when it come to money, a great deal of money, even with a little bit of money. I've never seen a nigga just be fair. Period. Because if
Here's
that was
what
the case, I used to make this argument all the time. When I was a kid, I used to tell teachers, "It's no reason why anybody in the world should be hungry." Like it's look, people, man, want to dominate man, especially when it come to money. That's like the number one thing people want. I got more money than you, so I'm better than you. Like a nigga
right.
ain't gonna split the pie fairly. It's not gonna happen. Period.
Well, it just depends on who you are, right? It really could come. I mean, money's not the problem; it's the love of money, right?
Of course.
Whenever you put money over your integrity and over other human lives, then that's when you step into darkness. But money's a great tool, right?
Of
You can
course.
use that money to do good. Here's the thing: what we don't realize, man, is these universal laws that govern our physical world, they govern the spiritual world as well, right? I mean, that's why if you do dealings with a lack of integrity, that's gonna come back around. Everything's in a cycle,
Oh,
right?
definitely. You can't
Yeah,
escape it. You can't escape fucking
yeah.
people over.
I
You
mean,
can't. I don't care how much
so
money you got.
I don't know Al Heyman. I don't know him personally. Obviously, I really don't know much about him. You know, but if he's operating in a situation where all I know is he didn't keep his word to me. That's all I know as
Yeah,
a
right.
consumer. And so
And
for
as a
me, that's
consumer, right?
tell me a damn lie. I don't have no respect for that. I don't care what color you are.
Definitely. I
I have
just
no
say this,
respect.
man. The man, very intelligent, very forward thinking man.
He
Because
couldn't be that intelligent.
Not that
He couldn't
intelligent.
be that intelligent because he don't understand the natural laws, the laws that
well,
govern the universe.
he may understand them, but again, that money gonna distort your outlook. You get what I'm saying? Like a man that was able to do and garner all the support and even the funds that he had is an intelligent man. He had to influence somebody to get that money. He had to be
So
able to.
basically, he has the mindset of an imperialist, right?
Oh yeah,
And
for
in an
sure.
environment that he's demographically not qualified to be one. You understand?
Well,
He's not qualified to be one in this environment, and that's why all the negative things are happening. I mean, because we talk about all these different things. Look at Brett Favre. Brett Favre stole something like $81 million from the poorest people in the country. people who don't even have clean water to drink.
Mm-hmm.
And you haven't heard a damn thing about that. It's hush hush, right?
Right.
I mean, he sold something like 81 million dollars, man, and it's no big deal. So what I'm saying is, you can have that imperialist mindset, but if you don't have that demographic, then your efforts will come back to hunt you.
Oh yeah, it'll amount to nothing in the end. You know, I'm not supporting what he did or what he's doing, but I can say this: he damn near covered all of his corners, like as far as on his end. Like these fighters all signed contracts, and me and Fred talked about this before. If
Chiefs
you
gonna barely win this game, by the way.
the reason why, and I mentioned this many years ago to Fred, there was a reason why all them guys were saying, "Oh yeah, thank you, Al Haymon, thank you, Al Haymon." All this, man, these dudes got contracts, things that are written inside their contracts, clauses, and what do they call non-disclosures. They got all these things that you would never be privy to. So Al Haymon, them guys cannot even
a disparaging clause.
So I think so. Where you can't speak out negatively against a person, you know. And look, if you signed that deal because you was thirsty for money, then that's on you. That's your fault. Al Haymon did what he was supposed to do to keep his name clean. Like, I don't agree with what he did. I wouldn't have done that to another human being, because to me, I want everybody to eat. But that's just me, though. I can't expect nobody to be like me. But I can say this, though. The mass numbers of people, when that money in front of them, everything that they are gonna come out. Believe me. Everything that they are gonna come out.
I hear what you're saying, brother, but that's not just you. That's what's right. You understand? And you can't expect everyone to do what's right. Okay? You can't expect everyone to be like you. But what you mentioned, yeah, that may be you, but more than that, that's what's right. And you can't expect everyone to do what's right. And so, I mean, that's what's wrong with the world right now, man. We got to be in a position where we're not willing to put money above human beings. Right. Money's a great thing, you know, but you can't do that.
And the disparaging clause means you can't say anything negative, any negative statement. Yeah. So people from PBC is not allowed. But you also got to take into account Al Haymon had the chance, because all he had to do was make the fights. You know, if he makes the fights, then we got action. You know, if he doesn't make the fights, then like now we're screwed, man. And all these fighters got elevated. See, these fighters got elevated contracts. The reason why Jamal Charlo's fight didn't happen is because Steven Espinoza says, "I'm not paying you this." No, it was cool when you was making $900,000 in the beginning in 2015, but now it's 2022. This is the 7th fight of your deal. You still a champion. I got to pay you hypothetically $2.3 million to fight this guy, and you're doing 300,000 buys. I'm not doing it. No, I'm not getting nothing. I'm not getting nothing on this end.
Right.
We got someone else that want to join, a new guy. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Fred? You know, I don't know if I've ever been on your show before.
Never.
I have, but I've been watching your shit for a while. I used to watch it back when you were all retarded and shit. But now you're all good. You know what I'm saying?
When you retarded?
Yeah,
he's retarded.
I used to watch you just to see how ridiculous you would sound, but now it's the opposite. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to make a few quick comments on this topic. And I love this topic because I think what happened over the course of the past, since the birth of PBC has been nothing short of a tragedy. And I think it's something important that boxing fans should know. Now, Al got $1 billion, right? Now, I'm sure he made a lot of money by doing whatever he did. You know, I don't know. That's not my job. I'm not counting his money. But let's say he did. Let's say he made a shitload of money. Great for Al. Good job, Al. But he at the same time he didn't make he made money and he destroyed the sport. You know, he could have easily made money and elevated the sport at the same time. You know, I mean, I didn't go to Harvard, but I'm sure if you give me $1 billion and 5 years, the sport of boxing, I would elevate it instead of destroy it. You know, at the very least, I highly doubt I would do as much damage as this guy did. You know, I'm sure of that. And I'm not the one that went to Harvard. Now, I want to specifically talk about, if you guys remember, when he first came out with PBC and got the $1 billion or $500 million, whatever the fuck it was, he bought all this airtime on all these different channels: ESPN, ABC, CBS, Spike TV, you name it.
Right.
Now, this is what sticks out to me the most about this. This whole Al Haymon and PBC experiment showed me one thing and proved to me one thing. I always used to assume and believe that whoever was rich and successful is most likely there because they're smart and they deserve it. But this situation showed me that that's not always the case, because Al Haymon is clearly not someone that knows what he's doing. He's just someone that's connected. Now, instead of training the audience to come to a specific channel at a specific day at a specific time, he just splattered shows all across the board. There was no rhyme or reason to any of it. The fights never led to anything. There was no storyline when we talk about the fights that were being made. There was no rhyme or reason to any of the channels or the times or the days that, you know, for example, like I didn't graduate college, but this is a simple common sense shit. Like if I have a show, I want to train the audience to come to a certain channel at a certain time at a certain day every week so they can watch the show. I want to make it nice and simple. You know, just like a sitcom. You know, when you come out with a new sitcom, you don't put it on 1,000 different channels on 30 different times. It's always on the same channel. So, for example, he could have done shit like this. Every Thursday night on ESPN, there's going to be fights. And he could have done like mostly prospects, and then a main event, like a B-level main event, you know. And then he could every Saturday on CBS, there's going to be premium level cards with like a premium level main event, you know. And then every Sunday, for example, he could have done like a, you know, I'm just throwing out shit, you know. But he was never consistent with anything. He very easily could have elevated the sport by just having consistent shows. I mean, consistent fights on the same channels at the same time every week or every month. You know what I mean? Kind of like HBO. Like we knew on Saturday night on HBO, there's going to be a fight. You know, and on ESPN every Friday or every other Friday, whatever the fuck it was, Friday night fights. You know, and I think that's where he really dropped the ball. You know, he had $1 billion to do this with. And instead of overpaying these fighters, he could have paid them what they deserve, and he could have made good fights, and he could have trained the audience to come to certain channels on certain times, on certain days, and he could have really elevated the sport and built it and attract new fans. Because at the end of the day, you did have all that airtime on all those regular channels, you know? So
let me say something
about that. I think that's where he dropped the fucking ball.
I'm gonna add this. I like to analyze people's character and you know how they move, you know what their purpose and intent is. When you look at Al Haymon when he first came in the game, what did he express to be his intent of embarking upon a journey into the business of boxing? What was his intent? What did he show us his intent was? I'm gonna tell you what he showed us from the onset. He showed us, I want to take over this game. and I want to restructure this whole damn boxing business. For one, as a black man, he pretty much put a target on his back. That's number one. For two, he flaunted his ego. And you got to understand this. There's people like Bob Arum, because look, he went after Bob Arum. There's people like Bob Arum that put that shit on brakes, like, hold on. You ain't got more power in this game than I do. So that's the first thing he went wrong. He let his ego get to him. This is why I feel like he's saying, well, fuck it. Since this shit is falling, I'm going to show y'all I can do what I want to do. And y'all want these fights? I'm not giving it to y'all. Why? Because his ego is in the way. The man, just like, oh, I don't have to even show my face. I don't have to talk to none of you motherfuckers. Like, if you think about it, yeah, he's not a good human being. I wouldn't think of him as a personable. I wouldn't look at him as a personable human being.
Well,
but when you look at him, no, when you assess the totality of his character, I can never say the man is stupid.
Right.
I can't say he's stupid. Look, if you able to fool intelligent people, if you are able to fool supposedly intelligent people, or if you able to fool any amount of or any people of any capacity, what does that make you? That makes you smarter than them.
Yeah, I would just say that he's like you mentioned, but I probably misspoke. He is intelligent. I mean, he's got a degree from Harvard, right? So he's got to be intelligent. He's got to be intelligent. However, there's a difference between intelligence and wisdom.
Of course.
So for me, right, it's for me, he lacks wisdom because you got to operate on the square if you want to have longevity. If you want to have longevity, you have to operate on the square. You have to have integrity. And I don't know exactly.
Look at where the sport is.
I don't know exactly what. I don't know exactly what happened in regards to the specifics. Like Fred was giving the details and everything. I'm just speaking as a consumer that that has an affinity for the sport of boxing, and the promises that he made, PBC made, Errol Spence made with the Ugas fight, how they were going to make the Crawford fight, and how they're failing on that. To me, that's a breach of verbal contract and a lack of integrity, and just basically told me a lie to get my money. So from this day forward, I will not be supporting any PBC efforts, and I'm not actually going to support any Spence fights as well. And it's not really his fault, and I know that. But at the end of the day, he's a casualty of war in my. He's a casualty of war in my. He's a casualty. He's an innocent bystander in a way, I think. But I can't support his fights anymore because he was part of that promise. He's part of that promise to make this fight with Terrence Crawford, and both him and PBC have failed to fulfill the promise. So I'm done.
Here, let me bring in no more your money. Let me bring in K-Dub. K-Dub wants to respond. Welcome, man. Appreciate you.
Fred, what's going on, Ken?
Hey, what's up, dog?
Fred, listen. Listen. First of all, Michael Fuller, we were never promised Spence and Crawford after Ugas. That ain't even how PBC works. PBC don't promise fights, first of all. Second of all, we got some big okay, well, you can bring the receipts up and prove that to me, and I can prove you that they don't promise fights. Second of all, Fred, we got some big fights with PBC. We got Crawford. We got Thurman Porter. We got Pacquiao Broner. We got Pacquiao Thurman. You feel what I'm saying? So Al was giving us some good fights. We got them Deontay Wilder versus Luis Ortiz fights. Al has been giving us some good fights. I don't understand what y'all saying and what y'all trying to insinuate with this, because Al Haymon being in PBC been giving us some good fights. We got Spence versus Porter. You feel what I'm saying? We done got some good fights. I don't know. I don't see the aim with this. You feel what I'm saying? I really don't see the aim.
The sun shines on the dog's ass. The sun shines on the dog's ass once a day. Fights like Keith Thurman and Sean Porter happened like 3 years into the PBC project when in fact they should have happened immediately. It took so long for fights like that to happen. And again, it was a sporadic schedule with random fights that never led to anything. We got 2 years to that before we got Sean Porter versus Keith Thurman. Remember, Keith Thurman first fought Robert Guerrero on the first PBC card. After that, he fought fucking Louis Collazo in Florida. And then 2 years after that, or a year and a half after that, or he finally fought Sean Porter. Instead of the Guerrero fight, he should have fought Sean Porter right then and there. The first fucking PBC show should have started off with Thurman versus Porter. But instead, it took 3 to fucking 4 years for us to fucking get that. And that's when he went wrong.
We got Thurman versus Garcia. We got Garcia versus Porter. Come on now. Y'all are tripping with this. We done got some really good fights with PBC.
You're right. You're right. We did look. I give credit where credit is due. He did give us some good fights. But what I'm saying is, it shouldn't have taken 5 years for those fights to happen. All those matches could have happened within 2 years. And
that ain't how business works. You
right
can't
away.
drain your
There's no
business.
reason
You
why
can't
we
drain
got
your business
Guerrero
within
versus
2
Thurman.
years. You can't drain your business within 2 years. He would have been sucking everything dry if he give you all them fights within 2 years.
Here's the problem too, man. When you look at it,
I don't agree.
Go ahead. You're in a we're in an environment.
Yeah, let him go up.
Go ahead.
Let Mike get off. You can go right. You can go right behind him. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. Let him go. Let him go.
I was just going to say,
okay.
You're not going to drink business by making those fights happen right away, because those fights will lead into other fights. And that's what the sport of boxing is. But instead, Keith Thurman got into 50 car accidents. He took like 50 years off, and then he finally fought Sean Porter after fighting not bums, but C-level opponents or B-level opponents like Collazo and Guerrero, who was washed up already at the time. So all I'm saying is we waited. He just took way too long to make those fights happen, and we just got a lot of shit in between. And that's all I want to say.
Yeah, Mike.
Yeah, I was just saying that, we live in an environment, a world, society. It's really, what have you done for me lately? You know what I mean? We forget about what happened. What happened a year, 2 years ago. We're looking at the biggest fight in boxing right now.
Right.
That's not being made, that people have been calling for years. It's the big. This fight has been the biggest fight in boxing for years now.
Yeah,
it's not
5
being
years.
So, it's not hard to find receipts for what I've said. And of course, I'm not talking in detail like Fred is about, because I don't spend that much time analyzing the sport from a business perspective. I'm just saying from a general fan and someone that appreciates the sport, that they made some promises. They made some promises prior to that Ugas fight to get support for that event, and they haven't followed through. You can't lie to me like that and expect me to continue to give you my money. So again, I'll say this one last time: I'm not supporting anything from PBC financially from here on out until they fulfill that, until they make that Spence Crawford fight. No more of my cash, man. I'm done.
I agree.
I don't care.
Okay, with that being said, was you saying that when Terrence Crawford was with Bob Arum in Top Rank? Was you screaming that?
That's old news. We here now. We here.
Okay, and they trying to make the fight. They were trying to make the fight. Terrence Crawford is playing games with the money situation. That's all it is.
Hey, Kenneth, I'm gonna say this, man. You made a point. PBC has given us some great fights. Watch, they have. I can agree with that. We can all agree with that. But like Mike Fuller said, man, this fight has been promised to us for years, man. For years.
They're trying to put it on.
Listen.
Hey, let them finish.
We've seen this. This is a recurring theme. We've seen this. It's a reason beyond what is known to us as fans, but it's something totally different. Like, this is the weirdest shit ever, man, because look, boxing is similar to the dope game like this, right? If you're a dope man, right? You giving the product, you putting the product on the street that the consumer wants. Hey, yeah, man, this some good shit. The consumer gonna tell you what's good. The boxing fans have been begging, hey, this is the fight we gonna pay for. This is the fight we gonna do it all for right here. We've been screaming out for this for years. It's not that hard to be made. Listen, Don King, Bob Arum, they was the only two promoters in the game for years. They put on every big fight. And it didn't matter if somebody had a loss. You know why? He was still fucking marketable because the next guy that was coming up, the next contender that they built up, he garnered attention. He gained a fan base. They won that war. Everybody made money. This is crazy, man. Like, it's not that far. It's not that hard to make a fucking fight. All these narratives, you're on the other side of the street. Blah, blah, man, that's all bullshit, man. It's some bigger shit going on, man. And those that are responsible, man, are the network and the promoters, dude. Point blank, period. It ain't the fighters. I'm pro-fighter all day long. I don't blame Errol Spence because Errol Spence, he wants to fight just as much as Terrence Crawford. And he want to show the fans that, man, I want to give y'all what y'all want. Of course, he got to back what Al say. He has to. He's contractually bound to back up Al, but his intent is truly there. But this shit is bigger than the fighters, man. This is on the promoters and the networks, man, and the people in real positions of power, man. This shit is weird, though. It's not that hard to make this fight, man.
Okay, can I ask you a question? Can I ask everybody on the panel a question? What is Al Haymon doing wrong in the Terrence Crawford Errol Spence fight? What is Al Haymon doing wrong? I'm
gonna tell you this. I guarantee you, and this is just how much everybody can say fuck PBC, but I'm gonna tell you the real honesty of it. If this fight gets made, it's gonna sell whenever it gets made. And watch this. Al will be forgiven for some of his sins.
What is he doing wrong? Simple. What is Al Haymon doing wrong?
Not making the fight. It's that simple. Huh? Not making the fight. It's that simple. That's what he's doing wrong.
The fight is being made. They negotiating. They negotiating.
Come on, man. Negotiations, they never took this long.
Nobody said the fight was off. They're negotiating. You just said you understand business. They're negotiating. They're negotiating. People want more money. Everybody want a money grab. Come on now. Whoever loses the fight is done.
We really
lose this fight. His big money is done. If Terrence Crawford loses this fight, his big money is done.
No, it's not.
They're trying to cash out. This is a cash out play. You said you understand business, right?
No, it's not. No, it's not. If Tyson has 6 losses, nigga, he still made over $300 million.
No, if Errol Spence loses this fight, he's not gonna make another big payment.
That's wrong.
I don't think so.
That's wrong. The fans are the ones that determine how much the fighters make, because your true hardcore fans gonna support you. See, I'm gonna tell you. Look, see, Mayweather did. He was a pioneer of the game, but that protecting your old shit. Why do you think Mexicans always make money? Because they put on shows. They are great entertainers. Why do you think these guys with 5, 6 losses constantly getting $1 million? Because people want to see what they bring to the table. That old shit is a fucking facade, man. That shit is created. That's like a fucking unicorn, man.
Al Haymon gave you Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury 3 times. Al Haymon gave you Jamel Charlo, undisputed. Al Haymon been giving you all the good fights in boxing, man. I don't know what y'all talking about. You know what I'm saying? But y'all can keep hating on Al Haymon. You know what I'm saying? I love the channel. Y'all can keep hating on Al Haymon, but he's running.
I don't hate the brother. I'm gonna give him his flowers where it's due, but I'm gonna also hold him accountable to where he needs to be held accountable and call him out on the things that he's lacking on, just like anybody else would do it to me.
I don't see nothing that he's lacking on. He's giving you the best fights in boxing. I don't see nothing that he's lacking on.
So you don't think
he give you Devontae Tate Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz? He giving you some good fights. I don't know what's
Well,
going on here.
Oh,
Fred, what
you
you
didn't
was
obviously.
doing? Man, what's going on, Fred? Stop it, please. You breaking my heart.
oh my gosh.
You know I'm
Champion Heart.
PBC for life, Al. Al Haymon for life.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Champion Heart. PBC don't want Spence and Crawford. That fight not happen. PBC don't care what the fans want.
PBC don't want that fight. Why not?
Can I read?
Why don't PBC want
Can I
that fight?
read this real quick? Can I read this?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, man. PBC don't want Spence versus Crawford. That fight not happening. PBC don't care what the fans want. PBC gonna push Thurman versus Spence, and we got someone else that wants to join the party. We'll let them get off, and yeah, we'll let them get off. What's up, man?
What's going on?
What's up, man? What you got?
This is Anthony, man.
Hey, what's up, Anthony?
This is Anthony. But,
yeah, you good?
Yeah, you. I don't know. What I don't understand is what I guess it's just a conversation.
Yeah, you got a bad connect. Go ahead. Nah, you got a bad connect.
A lot of these cats have a bad connection.
My connect is bad?
No, you good now.
Oh, you good now. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna kick you out, and you just come back in when you get. You got to change your spot. You gotta go closer to your modem. Go ahead. Anybody else want to? I'll say this, man. Bro. Thank you. I'm not. I think Sean Porter, Keith Thurman was a good fight, and someone.
Danny Garcia. Don't forget that.
Nigga, can I talk? Hey, what I'm saying is yes. But we are here now. Fighters are fighting once a year. The money's dry, and we're not getting the best fights. Period. Errol Spence should not be out 6 months. It shouldn't take 11 months to make Errol Spence Terrence Crawford. It shouldn't make, because I'll give you an example. When PBC wanted Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder, they built that fight up for a whole year. Tyson Fury had 2 fights in the UK, then came over here and fought Deontay Wilder in December. They could have did the same thing to Terrence Crawford. They didn't do it. They could have put Terrence Crawford versus Andre Berto, Errol Spence versus Ugas, and they roll right into November, December, whatever the dates were. So at the end of the day, what we're asking for, PBC has done already. It's not even something that they have to conceive and or create. It's there. So with all this being said, it is October 2nd, 2022. Bob Arum has put on good fights in the past. Eddie Hearn has put on good fights in the past. Al Haymon today is on the Summer Jam screen. He must deliver Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford. Because if Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford does not get delivered, that's a trickle-down theory to his whole stable. Entire stable. Yeah. It's over. It's over. It's man, this is catastrophic if this Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford fight does not get made. And Anthony's back. He's gonna try and chime in. Then you respond. All right, what's up, man?
All right, is that better?
Yeah, you're better.
How are you putting all the responsibility on PBC to make a fight when it's 2 parties involved? And how are we taking anything that any of these reporters are saying and making it a true statement when they've been instead of repeating the same thing over and over and none of it's been true?
I don't have to believe no one. The fight is not signed.
That's what I'm saying. But why is it only the responsibility of PBC to make the fight? When Terrence Crawford was over there with Bob Arum, the fight couldn't be made there either. Terrence Crawford.
See, that's the problem with us. We're not talking about yesterday. It's October.
The point is, Fred, is that you've had Top Rank trying to make this fight. Now Terrence Crawford is not with Top Rank. and PBC is over here. Spence said he wants to fight. The fight. How does that all lie on one person when it's two parties involved?
That makes perfect sense. That is PBC fault, and it's their responsibility because Crawford's not with Bob Arum no more.
Is he with PBC?
No, that's what they want.
Okay, that's why you got. But that's why you got two.
Control him too.
But that's why you hold on. You just wanted to act like it was just one party involved to make this fight. I'm just showing you, and you just proved it to yourself. There's two people involved in making this fight. You got Errol Spence, who is with the PBC, and you got Terrence Crawford, who is with whoever he has managing him. This can't all lie on one person or one group. It's two parties involved.
Listen, PBC is.
First of all,
thank you, brother. Thank you.
No,
PBC
first of all,
is holding. Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry, brother.
Go ahead, Michael.
What I was just gonna say that for me, as a consumer, I'm not in the business dealings of what's going on, in the detail that you guys want to go into it. That's not really my concern. I'm just going 1,000-foot view as a consumer. It was PBC and Errol Spence that got me to support the Ugas Spence fight through a promise that the next fight for Errol Spence will be Terrence Crawford. So if that doesn't happen, then I hold them responsible for not holding up their end of the bargain. That's one thing. Okay, that's the biggest thing for me, just as a consumer. But there's also been reports out there that Terrence has, agreed to no guaranteed money and 35% of the net, not gross, the net. So I mean, I think Blue Blood Sports talked about how, he pretty much agreed to all conditions.
It's all hearsay.
So for me,
it's all hearsay.
Hold on,
it's
Anthony.
All hearsay.
What I'm saying
Watch this, Anthony.
That's for me. That's a cursory point. The main point is you promised me you was going to produce the fight. I didn't.
He never promised. You ain't heard Al Haymon promise nothing. You heard Errol Spence call out Terrence Crawford.
Did Errol Spence, or did he not get on and promise that the next fight that he was going to fight was Terrence Crawford?
No, he did not. He did not. He only said I'm coming after your belt, Terrence Crawford.
That is a lie. That's
Anthony,
a lie.
can I say this, brother? Can I say this? Watch this.
He did a whole
everybody.
He did a whole
everybody.
Check his Instagram.
Everybody says sources said this, sources said that. Everybody want to discredit the sources, right? But when look, just do the history, do the fact check on the history, and repetitive behavior patterns. Just do the fact checks. When has this many sources been wrong in times past? Usually, when these things have happened, the fight gets signed. Like
that's
ESPN,
all speculation, brother. You can't
hold
argue. You're not arguing no
facts. Let him get off.
Look, listen. ESPN even spoke about this. When has ESPN ever said anything and it hasn't come to fruition? Come on, man. People, listen. Time out.
Hey, can I go?
No,
hold on.
Talk. Let niggas talk.
Listen, you gotta understand this. Look, everybody's sources ain't being wrong. Like PBC constantly trying to say, and constantly trying to say, Stephen Espinosa, oh, don't listen to people, don't listen to YouTube, don't listen to this. Nah, man. In times past, when these sources start speaking, it's usually true. When have we seen this many times the fight gets shut down after a number of credible sources have came out and said something? Man, the same people is within these circles. They all know what's going on the inside. Come on, man. It's got to be some accountability that has to be given to PBC and Al Haymon. And I got so much faith in the brother that I hope this fight does happen. And I can say that he probably just in sheer hopes. But a nigga ain't stupid, though. But just in sheer hopes, I'm going to say this. He building this fight up. Because what do you want the most in life? Something that somebody tell you that's empowered to give it to you, you can't have it. You want it even more. And when they release it to you, you're going to get it. So I'm going to say that he building it up in this way because I really want to see the fight. But come on, man. It shouldn't be working like this though. It's crazy, especially when people trying to put Crawford down and push Spence. Like it's making them two dudes look bad. Like they ducking a man. I'm pro fighter first, man. Let these dudes make this money, man, so they can retire and walk off into the sunset, man, and live their lives, man.
Go ahead, Anthony.
If I'm gonna blame him, go ahead. Who?
Yeah, Anthony, and then we'll go.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
If I'm gonna blame anybody, I'm gonna give them equal blame. Okay, they weren't able to come together on an agreement. These same sources were also saying that Tyson Fury wasn't gonna have to fight Deontay Wilder in the third fight. They were saying that he wasn't gonna have to do it, but he had a rematch clause in there. They said he wasn't gonna be able to hold it up. They said that Tyson. Fight. But the point is, he just using other sources, brother. I'm just telling you that just because these sources coming out and saying something, you can't blame one party. That's all I'm trying to tell you. And when y'all talking about PBC is broken, all this, that, and the third, when you can show me that in writing on paperwork, you have some statements or something there, some bank statements or some type of monthly statement or something that's going to prove that they don't have a budget anymore. And if that's all true, they wouldn't even be talking about making a fight. I was listening to Fred's video about them not being able to pay for a $2 million fight. These guys always use someone else's budget. They use one of the network's budgets, just like Bob Arum uses ESPN's budget. These guys use whoever their network is, Showtime or Fox. That's what they go by. And if they can make more money, or they feel like it will be less of a risk for them in order to putting it on pay-per-view, who's gonna blame them? I mean, yeah, we want every fight free, but that ain't been the case. This whole pay-per-view thing has been going since Floyd Mayweather, and it ain't gonna stop. They're just picking up more and more momentum behind it. That's all it is to it.
Max Kellerman, ESPN or Showtime? Which one is he? His show.
ESPN.
He's ESPN.
Okay, his show is on ESPN, that Max Kellerman show that he has. Okay, his individual show. Okay, so ESPN via Max Kellerman talked about the 35-65 split. Look at his latest show. Talked about the 35-65 split.
I saw it. I saw that, but he's not with PBC.
So here's the deal. So what I'm trying to say is that 35-65 split with Terrence taking no guaranteed money. That's the net too. Make the fight, man. Tired of hearing excuses. All right. When it's all said and done, make the fight. PBC, you promised and Errol Spence promised the consumers that we would get this fight next. You don't make the fight, you get no more support from me. And I hope the majority of consumers, because this is what we got to do as consumers. You can't lie to us, piss on our legs and tell us it's raining, right? I don't give a damn you got a degree from Harvard or not. I mean, the bottom line is we got enough common sense to know if you're playing us. Okay, make the fight. Sprints. The man's taking 35%. Make the fight.
You don't know any of that, man. You talking about what Max Kellerman said?
Can I go, please?
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
My man. First of all, y'all talking about a budget and all this. Al Haymon just offered Canelo over $150 million for 2 fights. So that goes to show that Al Haymon got a budget. Second of all, the last source that reported anything about this fight was ESPN. And they said that Terrence Crawford was holding up the fight because he wanted to see he wanted to know where the money was going so he can make sure he's getting every dime of this 35%.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. He want to actually see on paperwork that he's getting this 35%. So whatever. So it's not Al Haymon and PBC. It's Terrence Crawford. First of all, he was on Top Rank. They couldn't make the fight, like my brother said. And now he's having this paperwork issue where, I need to see where all the money is allocated to and blah, blah, blah. It's not Al Haymon and PBC or Errol Spence. It's Terrence Crawford holding up the fight.
You sound
Listen,
You
retarded.
sound crazy. Let me say
sound
this.
like, you sound like
listen.
You sound crazy, man. You're saying that man should take 35% with no guaranteed money, and he can't look at the receipts.
No,
Who the
no,
hell
no,
you
no,
watching
no,
fuck
this
out of
no,
from,
here.
no,
man?
no, no, no.
Fuck
I'm
out of
not
here.
saying that. Hold on, pause. I'm not
That's what
saying
you
he's
just said,
wrong.
though.
I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm
So
saying
how is
Michael
that?
holding
But
up
you
the
blaming
fight.
him for holding up the fight.
No,
How is
I
that
didn't
holding
blame.
up
I
the
didn't
fight?
blame. I said the source said. I'm not blaming anybody. I said the source said
Exactly.
Terrence Crawford was holding up the fight. That's all I said. I'm not
Show
blaming
Exactly.
anybody.
show the man the receipts he wants to see,
Yeah,
so he knows
exactly.
where the money's
Mike,
going.
I feel
He
the
done
same
already
way,
took
Michael Fuller.
But
the short end of the stick.
even when you
Let-
go to the even when you make the fights, you got to prove to the commission you got the money. You can't just step into the ring. Everybody got to show proof of funds. When you buy a house, you got to show proof of funds. When you buy
so
a
are we
car,
saying Showtime don't have the money? We saying Fox don't have the money?
that's not what I'm saying. You're
Okay. All I'm saying at the end of the day, everybody on this panel is just speculating anyway.
Ain't
So for
nobody
any one of y'all to say,
Ain't nobody speculating.
anyone for you to use any of those sources for the Lance
Hey,
Pugmires and the
Anthony,
whoever the other guy was, I can't think of his name.
Anthony, it's the difference between speculation and making an educated guess based off the information and the
It's
facts
still
that's right
speculation,
there
bro.
to you.
I'm
No,
not making
Your
listen.
educated guess is off of sources who
Okay,
are just digging for
watch this.
information.
Kenneth
Why can't they
Wallace
say
made a point. Kenneth Wallace made a point earlier. Watch this. He said, and I believe this too. Al Haymon is not broke. PBC is not broke. But Al Haymon understands this though. I'm going to put my money where there's a profit margin for me. Now, look, he'll readily and wittingly get Canelo. He'll put the money up himself. You know why? Because Canelo's going to garner a guaranteed return, point blank, period. Why? Because Canelo got a fan base who coming to spend at the venue, who's going to pay high price tickets, who's going to buy merchandise and go buy the pay-per-view. Now, look, understand this though. He fucked up by giving these guys inflated guarantees that they're no longer able to make off of their fan base. Errol Spence look, the price tag that they asking to be paid, the fans can't pay for it. Point blank, period. That's the only way it makes business sense. The fans cannot pay for that. Or he just don't believe the fans can pay for it, or he don't want to take a risk of putting his own money up and seeing how the fight fare, seeing how it fares financially. He can put his own money up and pay them brothers for
that
sure.
doesn't even make sense, L?
How it
That
don't
don't even make
sense?
sense, bro. Let me tell you why it don't make sense. If Spence has fought lesser competition and has been able to turn and make money off of it, how can you say he gonna go and fight Terrence Crawford and they gonna say he can't make a profit? Come on, bro, that don't even make any sense. He gonna sell more pay-per-view against Terrence Crawford than he did against Ugas.
Okay,
Come on,
so
man.
why the fight
That
not
don't make
being
any
made then?
sense.
Why the fight not being made then?
That's what we all want to know, but we can sit here and speculate about it all night. But don't sit up here and blame the guy and say that he made promises that he didn't make.
I believe it sells
and
itself
make all these
by
other claims.
force.
Just say this is what I think.
Anthony, let him get off, and then you can respond.
I believe it. I believe the fight sells itself by far. But it don't matter what I feel. Evidently, look, if he's rushing and willing and basically begging Canelo that I'll give you an inflated amount of money and I bring it out my own pocket to pay you, who's not even on his network, who's not even signed to who's in his promotion company, why he not doing that with Spence? Like,
more
that's all I'm saying.
More speculation. You just said that the brother was gonna pay for it out of his pocket, or he will. You speculating about the whole thing, but if you want to bring Canelo into it,
you strike iron when it's hot.
If you want to bring Canelo into it, and you want to say that he wants to bring Canelo, and he's making all these offers, he has 1, 2, 3 fighters right now, and he know they all gonna be big fights. If he can bring Canelo over there, he can match Canelo up with all 3 of them. Or if any one of them beat Canelo, that's the same as passing the torch on to this person. So now everybody gonna want to see this person lose against whoever Canelo was supposed to fight, if it was gonna be the Mexican monster or whoever. You know what I'm saying? These people know what they're doing. They've been doing it for years.
Of course, I'm not.
And they've been making money for years. It's just that we get on here and now we want to tell them how to do their business. All we should be talking about is boxing. But if we want to talk about this, at least be honest and say we all speculate.
I'm not speculating. I've never speculated with this. I told you guys 3 months ago to fight, but we're gonna bring Johnny in, and let me see if he can respond. Go ahead, Johnny.
Hey Fred, can I ask you a question?
Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
1 second, Mike. I'll get you right back, Mike. What's up, Johnny?
Hey, what's going on, Fred?
Hey, how you doing, dog?
I'm all right, man. I used to call your show all the time back in the day.
Welcome back.
Oh yeah, I'm back now. Yeah, I'm back now. And I just want to say this, no disrespect. It's guys like you, Fred, and the other ABC guys that are responsible for Anthony and Kenneth, the fanboys.
Right.
You're clearly giving them information that is obvious to see, and they don't want to take it. Just like when Malcolm was giving information about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and they didn't want to accept it because they were engulfed in what he was or what he was supposed to be. When you look at like Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua, that was another big fight that he was supposed to make and he never made it. He's saving all these guys because he does, like you say, he don't got the money, and the only way he's gonna be able to get the money is if he can get some guaranteed money, like with a Canelo. But outside of that, he can't make the fight because he don't have the money, and he needs guaranteed assurance that he's gonna be able to pick up a check off this. And I don't understand why he don't think that Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence is gonna be a guaranteed check, because it's the biggest fight in boxing.
Man,
but I don't really.
How do you know that? How do you know that?
Wait 1 second.
What do you mean? How do I know that? What do you mean? How do I know
You
that?
came on here. You made these claims. How do you know it? You called me a fanboy.
And go ahead, Johnny. I'll bring you back in, Anthony. Let people get off. I let everybody talk. You're gonna get your turn. Go ahead, Johnny.
Yeah, my bad. Appreciate that, Fred. You're doing good now, brother. I like this.
All right. Get off. I don't get off. Go ahead.
Hey, man. So you just even we talk about Plant, Joshua, Benavidez. They all could fight each other. Those are good fights supposedly, but they don't get made. Why is that? Why do you have three top level boxers that don't fight each other? Because they're all waiting for Canelo. He don't got the money, and it's all good. He should just say that and stop trying to drag this shit out for a whole year. This has been the biggest fight for the last 3 or 4 years. We've all wanted to see this for 3 or 4 years. It doesn't make any sense for it to take this long. And if Kenneth, if he's holding up the fight based off receipts, what type of shit is that? Who holds up a fight for a man that's taking 35% and all he wants to see is receipts?
Hey,
that doesn't make any sense. I'm done, brother.
100%.
All right, we'll bring Anthony. So, go ahead, Michael. Then we'll bring Anthony to respond.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the deal. It sounds like I came on to talk about boxing, and I did, but that's not the primary reason I came on. So, do you have can you give me a couple minutes at the end?
Yeah, sure.
Because I want. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Go ahead, Anthony. Go ahead and respond, Anthony. All you, dog.
Okay. All right, Johnny. Number one, I'm not a fanboy. I'm just listening to the conversation. I don't care. I just want to see the fights. Period. I don't know Al Haymon. I don't know Bob Arum. I have no relationship with those guys to be any fan of whatever that little funny statement is. But the fact is that you don't have anything to back up any of your statements. All you doing is talking. And that's it. That's what we all are doing. So while we sitting up here talking, stop acting like we got some proof or something. We don't have shit. That's all I'm saying, bro.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool. Hey, brother. So what I'm saying to you is I mean, if you go outside and you see the sun is yellow, do you call it yellow or do you call it orange? I don't know. So we can see that fights are not being made. This is clear. It's not just Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. It's other fighters. Gary Russell doesn't fight but every other 2 years. I mean, this it's not just Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, brother. We get one fight from the Charlo brothers every year. That doesn't make any sense. So why do we not get other fights? Like Fred was saying earlier, where are the other fights? Where are the other players in the game that he has over there in the PBC to fight? Why is it just Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, the big holdup? Can you tell me that?
Because that's the biggest fight in
I
boxing.
can't tell you that. If you're talking to me, I can't tell you that any more than you can prove to me your first statements. You can't prove any of that. I can only speculate just like you can speculate. I mean, I like to see you fights too. But
do you believe in
I
Jesus?
can't tell you why they didn't happen.
Do you believe in Jesus?
They don't have anything to do with boxing or this conversation.
I'm asking you, do you believe in Jesus, brother? That's all I'm asking you. Do you have a higher power that you believe in?
I just want to know what that had to do with.
Do you have a higher power that you believe in, brother? That's all
what does my higher power have to do with boxing?
I'm asking you, do you believe in things that you can't see? Do you believe in things that haven't been proven to you yet? That's what I'm asking you.
God is proven through his creation, brother. Do you have a sun and you have a moon that goes up and comes up and down like it's supposed to? All right, that's the proof of God. When you go out there, you look at the trees, you look at the sky, you look at the water and stuff like that. That's the proof of a God. That don't have nothing to do with boxing.
Okay.
That has nothing to do with boxing. You have a heart in your body. You came out of a woman's vagina. What are you talking about? That don't have nothing to do with the business of boxing. We want to keep it right here with the business of boxing. That's what you don't know. That's the question you have is why didn't this fight take place? You don't know.
So Anthony, you got faith then, right, brother? You got faith, right?
Come on, man. I don't even know what your line of question got to do. It ain't about boxing.
So what I'm asking you is because if you're a Bible believer, then faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So you don't have to have actual proven visual evidence of something, but you can see because of the things that are aligned, how it's aligning, that this is the proof. So the reason why you believe in God is because you see the sun, the moon, the stars, the water. And the reason why we can believe Al Haymon doesn't have the money is because Benavidez ain't fighting, Plant ain't fighting, Charlo ain't fighting, Fulton ain't fighting.
Plant is about to fight. Plant is about to fight.
Tank gotta fight. Tank gotta fight the same guys over and over again, brother. This is easy to see. He doesn't have the money, so he can't make the fight. And it's just it is what it is.
Okay,
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, man. To be as fair,
you smooth with it. I'd say that much. That's about it, though.
No, he made a great point, though.
Yeah, he ain't making any point, man. That wasn't no point.
I mean, hold on. I'm gonna say this.
You're gonna line up the moon and the stars and everything, and they're gonna try to make that correlate with because this fight didn't happen, this fight. But when they do fight, then I guess all of a sudden he just got a reinsertion of money.
It had nothing to do
money
with
just
that.
got injected into PBC.
Well,
I mean, come on, man. Y'all ain't making any sense.
I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna be fair and unbiased as possible. I'm not anti-Al at all. I don't want the brother to fail. I don't want him to fall off the face of the earth. But watch this though. The way in which the brother has been moving for the course of years that we've known him since he came on the scene of boxing, it shows that it's an evident reality that he has a fatal flaw that he doesn't want exposed. Now, we can only make assumptions based on other correlating examples. There's something going on with this man that it doesn't match up, man. It's not lining up. Now, based on a lot of things that we've seen and heard, a lot of theories from plenty of people, it makes sense, man, that something just not adding up. Like, can't this many people be wrong about everything that's being said and that has been in common? Like, it can't be that many people wrong, man. It's something going on that's terribly wrong at PBC, point blank, period. And if I was to blame a chaotic household, if I was to put the blame on someone that heads a chaotic household, who am I gonna put the blame on? I gotta put it on the father. He's the head of the household. Who's the head of PBC? Al Haymon. Why? Because he was getting all this praise. So isn't he due to have all the criticism because he had the praise? So he's due for the criticism. Ain't nobody above reproach.
Okay, let's take your argument, L. They Apple or any other company. Apple just went on a hiring freeze, and they went on it before some of these other bigger companies went on a hiring freeze. Businesses have to restructure sometimes. That don't mean that they can't make a fight. And PBC is totally different. PBC is an entity. Then you got all these boxers that are entities of themselves that come and sign up to let PBC to be able to perform on PBC's platform, and they're under a platform which falls under either Fox or Showtime. Fox or Showtime are the one always putting up the money for the fights anyway. Al is just the one with the talent. The talent, they are their own companies also. You understand? What y'all talking about is fine. I'm just saying, take out all the blame and the promise and all that stuff and trying to make it like it's got to be this, or I know it's this for sure. And talking like you 100% positive. You are not.
I'm the only thing that I'm saying, I'm not getting into the character of Al Haymon. I'm not doing that. I don't want to do that because I don't know him personally. I don't even know the inner works of the business that goes on there, like the detail that you guys may know, or what Fred has already discussed. But for me, it's just I'm just a fan. I'm just a fan of boxing, and I want to see the fight. And I was done supporting Spence versus whoever else. I was done with the Ugas fight, but they promised me that they would put on the Terrence Crawford fight next. So I paid for that Ugas Spence fight. I paid for that. So I'm looking for next. So if Terrence is not next, then PBC gets no more of my cake, no more cash. That's it.
And they're gonna lose a lot of business like that.
And if Terrence is not next, then Errol Spence gets no more of my money. I mean, and I understand that he's just a casualty of war, innocent stand-buyer, but the bottom line is he was part of that process as well. So for me, I don't know anyone's character. I don't know their inner works of their business. I'm just saying you made me a promise, you didn't follow through, so I can't support you anymore until you meet that promise. If you don't meet the promise, then that's it. I don't care who's fighting. I'm not buying any more PBC fights.
And watch this. They can say, "Oh, it's the recession." They can blame the recession, but I'm gonna tell you this though. In times of the worst economical crisis that the country ever seen, what do people turn to? They turn to entertainment.
Correct.
This is a source of entertainment that everybody loves. Everybody loves violence. Everybody want to see blood. Come on.
Yeah.
This fight, look, I'm a firm believer you can make this fight on a Monday or a Sunday, as odd as them 2 days are. And the fight gonna do 750 pay-per-view buys, legitly. I don't give a fuck what network you put it on, how you split the pie. It's gonna do 700. The fight gonna sell itself.
Remember this.
Yeah, there's enough.
Remember this. How did the whole thing start with Sean Porter and Terrence Crawford's fight? Al was on, not Al, but Bob was on this show. What did he tell you, Fred? He said he don't think Sean Porter is worth more than $1 million. Y'all talking about how much these fighters are getting up front as far as their guaranteed, and then what they're getting on the back end, all this type of stuff you're talking about. And then you're discrediting the PBC off of doing the same things that Bob was doing. Bob's not paying anybody a lot of money for these fights right now. He's not paying it. Yeah. He's taking his budget. He's looking at the budget. He's trying to keep as much money as he can out of that budget. Period. Because they know right now what it is.
He's making the fights.
And watch this. I'm gonna tell you this.
Right now he's making the fights.
Hey, look, watch this. Al Haymon came in. he had a plan, but I'm gonna tell you this: everybody fails at some point. I'm not saying the brother can't bounce back, but right now he has a failing business, and he went in and he overinflated everything, man. Eventually, the bubble burst, and that's what happened.
Right.
That's just a fact, man. The bubble didn't burst. See, Bob Arum is like this. I can say this. This is how you know real sharks, man. And he's an old shark, man, and the old nigga ain't changing. Bob Arum gonna consistently give you a product. He not with all the rah-rah though. He not with all the fluff and all the bullshit. He gonna give you good entertainment. Period. He know how much to put on a fight. He know how much to pay a fighter. Look, Al Haymon, look, and it makes sense what Fred say. It just makes sense, man. This point, Fred made sense on him. The nigga got his 20%. He had to find a way to justify his hand in the pot. And that's what he did. He said, well, fuck it, just come over here. I'm gonna give y'all way more than they gonna give y'all. Why? Because 20% of that is mine. That's why he's the advisor. Look, it makes sense, man. It goes into the storyline with what he's shown me as a person. Like, he made off with the money, man. I'm not mad at him. But now you owe the people. You a billionaire now. You owe the people.
Yeah, that's unethical. But here's I'm gonna say this, man. I'm trying to bleed into what I really came on the show for tonight. But when you talk about Bob Arum, I don't know him personally, obviously, but I do know of his dealings with Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, even Floyd. And I've seen him, I've heard about the things where I'm definitely not promoting his ethics and his ethical code. You understand? I'm not doing that. And I'm not really trying to make any inferences about Al Haymon's ethical code other than broken promises to the fans. And so that's the extent of that. I do know that for me, if he takes on and he's done what L says he's done, then he does have the mindset, imperialistic mindset, and the only problem is he doesn't have the demographic necessary to get away with it. You understand? In other words, he's not Brett Favre that can steal $81 million from Mississippi, the poorest state in the union, and get away with it, and still be in the NFL Hall of Fame, and really hasn't had any serious repercussions. In fact, the media is not even talking about it. He's more the guy that's the coach of the Boston Celtics that cheated on Nia Long, and now he's suspended for a year and dragging him through the mud like he's the second coming of Adolf Hitler. So what I'm trying to say, there's definitely two different standards of moral judgment and penalties that are enforced as a result of those breaches in moral character. Al Haymon does not have the demographics to benefit from that. So his imperialistic mindset of L says what if L's interpretation is correct, there's going to be penalties to pay for that. There's going to be, there's going to be repercussions. And I don't think that by any means, if he has a breach in ethics, it's any different from what's happened with Bob Arum throughout the years or decades. Not anything different at all. In my opinion, that's just my opinion from afar. But one of the reasons,
they're all the same.
Yeah, but one of the reasons I came on tonight is I was traveling over the weekend. I had to take care of some business on the East Coast, and I got wind of a show that happened a couple shows ago, where this guy, I guess Jerry, I guess it's the guy's name.
Oh yes, Jerry. He calls in every now and again.
Yeah, he calls in and then says some pretty slanderous lies about me in regards to calling me full of hate, and I think he may even mentioned I was a racist or something. And what amazed me is that there was a lot of people like listening on the panel. No one said anything to say, nah, we know this guy. He's not full of hate. Well, I'm going to speak up for myself now. No,
Hold on, let me stop you, Mike.
but
You said nobody on the panel said nothing.
I don't think so. No, they just kind of
Go
listened
watch
to
it
him.
again.
Okay, I'll watch. Okay.
I spoke up for you, brother, and I'm gonna tell you what I said. I said Mike is much like myself. He's very passionate. I said I believe his intent is well, and I don't believe what he. I just go listen to it, brother. You'll hear that.
Okay.
Am I lying, Fred?
I don't remember it. I'll be honest.
I
But
remember you spoke up for him.
if you said, I believe you, Al. If you
I
said, I
spoke up
believe
for you, Mike, because I'm gonna tell you, most of your thinking is quite like mine, brother, and I'm not gonna let nobody defame somebody, name, and without me even, giving my say. A person got their opinion, they got a right to it, but I take you as a good brother, and you much like myself, man. We passionate individual, and a lot of time, sometimes when we express ourselves, a lot get lost through the translation, man. But go ahead and speak, brother. I apologize.
Right. No, you're good. I appreciate that, bro. I didn't really hear that part. But what I'm going to say officially now, that no, I am not full of hate. You know what I mean? I don't hate people at all. I love all God's creation, all God's people. No question about it. I don't care what color you are. However, I do have a problem with the system of white supremacy and oppression. And for someone to say that that does not exist, you're a liar. Okay? You're a liar. All right? So for me, it's a mentality and a behavior that I hate. It's not individuals. And I've been through a lot of stuff, man. I mean, I've been through a lot of stuff in the field that I'm in. There's not many African American males. There's not many black men in this field. So I mean, we're in a sense in the commercial industry. So in a sense, we're like trailblazers in this field in the commercial industry. And man, I've been through a lot of crap. So, but I don't hate individuals. I hate behavior. I hate the way that the inequities that I see in society today. And so, one of the things that I think that guy brought up, and obviously, I was offended by the way he slandered me, and he lied and said that I was a person full of hate. That is a outright lie. And I prove that every day by the people who, when I was in the military for 25 years, I had Caucasian men working for me, and I never mistreated anyone based on their color. In fact, I would bend over backwards to make sure that everyone under my auspices had the opportunities that would make them grow, allow them to grow within that arena that we functioned in. And I treated everyone fairly. I bent over backwards for all my men. So, as far as him coming with that was a slanderous lie. That was a slanderous lie, and I didn't appreciate it. As far as the when you're talking about the situation in Chicago, where we're talking the murders that are going on in Chicago, and someone mentioned and I brought up the fact, okay, where do these guns come from? None of these guns that are being used to for these people to murder one another in the inner cities in Chicago, none of them are manufactured by black people. None of them were brought into the neighborhoods by black people. So where do they come from? And then he just, oh, here we go again, and he got into this rant about how I'm trying to say that the ultimate responsibility is is with the manufacturers of the guns. No, I was not saying that. What I said, ultimately, the people who pull the trigger and commit those crimes are responsible for the things that they do. I mentioned that without any type of reservation. So that's another lie that he told. Okay. Now, they're ultimately responsible. However, I did mention a set of conditions that are set up in these environments, right? That will logically end in some of the things that we see happening today. And this is not the first time it's happened. It happened before the Italians, when the Italians, the Irish, and the European Jew got here. A lot of those same situations were created. Those same environments were created. That's why we got the old mob stories, right? Where they were killing each other. They were set up before they actually got a certain amount of status and mainstream status in America. Before that happened, they were in that dark life of crime, and there were some things that happened there that are very similar to the things that are happening in their cities today in regards to black on black crime or ethnic crime within an ethnic group and murderous crime. And so, Fred, can you see this private chat? Can you see this private chat this link that I put in private chat?
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
This is a father, a religious leader, father that is out of Chicago,
Right.
and he speaks about a lot of things that I actually mentioned, and I was wondering if you could, yeah, Father Flager, if you could play that 105 from 105, play that for a couple minutes, because a lot of times people have a hard time taking what I say, and they think that it's racially motivated and it's not just based on truth.
And wait, there are millions of ways to stretch your space.
But this is
your way.
This is a European guy, a white guy that's talking about the same thing.
And after you do that, Fred, I want to make one point because it kind of ties into what Mike
I'm
said.
playing it now. I'm playing it now.
How do we truly do it? Can we save this community with everything that we just talked about, or what America represents, and then all the pointing of the fingers, but they don't understand that institutionalized racism is what caused the reason what's going on in Chicago? And do they even really care? You know, we did a movie together with Spike Lee that showed that they don't the corporate infrastructures and capitalism don't really care about what they can't wait till they can gentrify these areas.
Exactly. They don't. And you know, it's so makes me so angry and outraged because we want to talk about all the killing of the New Numbers New Weekend, and it's horrific and it's terrible and
you're fighting that fight on the front line,
right? And they bring in the National Guard and all this stuff, and people wonder why I keep fighting against bringing the National Guard or Trump sending in troops on it, because that's the Band-Aid, and I'm tired of Band-Aids. You know, we never have the courage. America can solve this. It can solve the violence. It doesn't have the will to solve. It doesn't care because we want to get to the root, just like going back to the cancer of racism. The roots of it is that you look at the 16, 17 communities in Chicago where the most violence takes place. You see the same exact scenario and definition. Double-digit unemployment, lack of economic development, lack of housing, lack of opportunity, lack of investment, most coming back from incarceration with nothing and no chances, underfunded.
All right, go ahead, Mike. Pretty much saying what you were saying. Go ahead. That's Father Fletcher, guys. In case you guys wonder on the Nick.
Let it keep playing. Give him another minute, Fred. Let him keep playing. Some critical stuff. Another minute or two. Thank you, sir.
When you put all these realities, if you took those realities and went to the North Shore and did that for the next 15 years, you'd see the same thing going on there as you do here.
Right.
So we created this condition. You know, I say all the time that the government, both local and national, are the co-conspirators of the violence. They're the hidden hand. They've created it. Now they sit back and condemn it.
Right.
And say, do you want to solve it?
Right. Like, how did the guns get to Chicago?
Yeah.
How did
who's making and selling these guns?
Yeah.
You know, who's making and selling these drugs? Not black folks.
Right.
You know, these are all coming. Nick, twice in the last year, I got calls. I saw for myself. Twice in the last year, where two white guys came in SUV, dropped a Nike bag full of guns, said, "Here, defend yourselves."
Wow. You saw it.
I saw the bags.
Wow.
Did you hear that? That's good. You can stop there. Did you hear that? That's not me saying that. So you can't run back and say, "Oh, he's a racist," right? Because I look and I ask the questions why. Because I'm not willing to accept the narrative that's put out by people who want to deny the history of this country and the doings of what's going on now. And not every person is like that. But there are contingencies that there are contingent groups within our environment that produce these type of realities, that help to produce these type of realities. Is the onus still ultimately with the people who pull the trigger? Of course. But again, I didn't say it because a lot of times it's hard for us to respect things that come from people of my demographic. I understand that. Right. Intelligence with my demographic and my skin hue is very oxymoronic to a lot of folks. Right. You know, it
Let me
doesn't
make a
fit.
reply, Mike.
No, I'll let
Okay.
I'll let him get his closing remarks, and then we'll go around.
Yeah. So
go
what
ahead.
thank you. Thanks, L. I'm almost done.
Sorry about that, boy.
So at the end of the day, you know, it's not coming from me in this case. This is a European gentleman. He's a priest in the area in Chicago. Been there for decades. Okay, and so he just told you the situation, the scenarios that are set up. So it's not on me. I'm not a racist for saying this. These are the facts, right? And so when it's all say, I already know. I mean, I know who I am, but I don't like when people who are okay with the narrative that the reason why these things are happening in the cities is because Black people are inherently violent, inherently ignorant, inherently shiftless and lazy, inherently immoral, and not look at the extenuating circumstances and understand that these environments have been set up over decades. And also to understand that there's always universal law, always you see the effect, but in order to really gain knowledge about that effect, and you have to ask the question of why. You have to seek out the cause of the effect that you see. And that's asking the question of why. That's true intelligence, and not just, oh, these niggas is just violent, or they're just ignorant, or oh, they're just inherent. You know, okay, that is the very simplified narrative that society wants to run with, but that's not correct. There's always things that we have to ask that are deeper questions, and that's around why. So again, I didn't like the slanderous remarks that this individual made, and for this particular instance, it wasn't just me that's referring to these realities. You got a white priest that's actually talking about it too. I'm done.
Appreciate you, Mike. I'm pretty sure, Jerry, you can come in tomorrow and respond, and y'all can debate that. Go ahead, Al, and then we'll go to answer.
See, that's why I wanted to make this point, because I wanted Mike to stay around. Hey, Mike, if you're still in the chat, man, I hope you're listening. If you come in right now, I want to have assurance that you're hearing this. And Mike,
he's listening. Go ahead.
Okay, everything Mike is saying is true. It's 100% facts. But I give only 10% credence to that. And I'm gonna tell you why.
Y'all can debate this tomorrow, so don't come back in you and Jerry, call in tomorrow, and L, y'all can debate all this.
Let me make this point, because I've been wanting to say this for months on previous shows, but I always get skipped, whatever the case. But watch this.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna make this analogy as it pertains to sports, right? Team sports. When we as a team are getting ready for the off season, right? I mean, getting ready for the season to start, and we in training camp, we are all affected by our family life. We are all affected by outside external factors. We are all if you're in hell camp for a football team, we are all affected by the heat. Now, if one person decides to slack off, he's held accountable. And he has to be up to par. We gotta bring this motherfucker up to par. And this is another thing. A coach gonna tell you like this: hey man, they dealing with the heat too. What makes you think you can't deal with the heat? If you don't want to deal with the heat and get in shape and get yourself up to par, then you ain't gonna be able to make it on this football team. Now I say this because I make this point with my mother. Because really, to be honest with you, it's really an excuse for our failures. That's the bigger point that's being made. Because I'm gonna tell you like this: can't no nigga say that grew up in the same environment that I grew up in can say that, oh man, you different. It's different with you. Nigga, I grew up in the same hood you grew up, nigga. I wasn't exempt from the things you was exposed to, that you experienced. Nigga, I experienced everything a gangbanger experienced, nigga. I've been shot at 5 times, nigga. I've been set up and skint once, nigga. My brother been shot 10 times, nigga. My house been shot up a multitude of times. But I never in my motherfucking life, one time, had an inclination to have a hate for another black man for a stupid ass reason, as the reasons we was given to do so. Not once. Same thing when people say, "Oh, mental health." I'm not saying mental health don't exist, but watch this. Whatever caused that nigga to be mentally ill, nigga, I went through the same shit, nigga. Who haven't thought about killing themselves? Nigga, this is an unnatural life we live in. You gotta be strong. That weak shit is giving, it's giving life. Our society breeds weak motherfuckers, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, man, and that shit affect us the most. Me and my mother argue about this all the time. I tell her, I say, look, mama, you had 8 kids. You know why some of us are different than the other? Because you purposely held some of us accountable and others not so accountable. You created that environment. Just like the society is creating the environment, and they are dictating who they want to be here and who they want to be there. Nigga, if you eat the poison, you're gonna die. If you take the medicine, you're gonna be cured. Point blank, period. Those are excuses, man. And I'm not discrediting what Mike say because it's true. But understand this, man. We live in a competitive society, man. I've never expected a white person to give me more precedence than they'll get their own. This is a competition, man. We live in a competitive world, man. If we don't arm ourselves with the ability to compete, we will lose every time. These niggas that's out here killing each other, for whatever reason, nigga, because it don't amount to shit, that's on them niggas. Nigga, I done seen more guns than a little bit, nigga. Still ain't make me want to go take one and just go rob a nigga or shoot at a nigga or be from a gang and try to go harm a nigga for nothing. These are weak-minded individuals, man, who have no structure as humans, who have no human structure because of their family, household, whatever the case, they upbringing, the lies and the deception that they instill in their mind. Man, it's starting the home, man. It's upon every fucking father. It's upon every man, every father to do his job when he create a seed, man. And it's more so for us as blacks, man. It ain't no fucking excuse for it. Nigga, listen, I know me, I know you, Fred, I know a whole bunch of brothers. Man, we all from the hood. We all had a choice to make. Everybody, nigga, we was all affected by the sun. We was all affected by the heat, nigga. But I got in shape and made the team and became a starter. Nigga, you wanted to slack off. You wanted to take the easy route. You wanted to do the bullshit. Nigga, I was hotter than you, nigga, because I was working harder. My body was hotter than you, nigga. I had a more intensified headache than you. It's an excuse, black people. Listen to what I'm telling you. It's a conditioned mindset, man. Conditioning works. If I tell you every day you ain't shit and you believe it and you do all the things that make you not shit, you know what you're gonna be? You're gonna be a product of that conditioning. Point blank, period. It's no excuse for us as black people to hate each other. Nigga, it ain't no excuse. Point blank, period, nigga. And I got homies right now that I talk to on a regular, ex-gang members. That was my homies from kids, and we still cool. And I tell them the same thing. Anybody out here perpetuating a lifestyle that's contrary to what's beneficial to us as a whole, nigga, you part of the problem. Because one minute you say, oh, yeah, I'm for the kids, I'm for the youth. But when it's beneficial, nigga, you want to glorify the gang lifestyle because it's putting money in your pocket. You can't do that, nigga. Point blank, period. And I'll challenge anybody, nigga. I don't give a fuck. Any nigga from LA, any nigga from Compton, any nigga from any nigga from Harlem, any nigga from Chicago, nigga, it ain't no justification in that, nigga. How the fuck we come from what we come from, nigga, from being enslaved, nigga, being degraded in the worst form as humans, nigga, subhumans, nigga, we was treated worse than animals, nigga. But niggas that do what we doing to each other. Hey, get the fuck out of here, man. Niggas better wake up, man. If my son, I'm telling niggas right now, my son, if he defy the teachings that I give him and go out here and be something of disgust, nigga, he got to deal with me. Nigga, if I'm 60 years old, I'm giving him his hands. Nigga, you got to whoop my ass, son. Nigga, that's disgusting. It's disgusting for us to kill each other. Nigga, can't nobody influence me to say, oh, I want to go kill a nigga just because it's a bunch of guns right here and they gave us a gun to protect. Nigga, we ain't the enemy. I'm done, man. I don't want to go on a rant, Fred, but I just wanted to make that point, man. We all are affected by everything in this life. Ain't none of us exempt from nothing. We just got choices and we make decisions. Point blank, period. You're a combination of the decisions you make based on the choices you was given. And we all got the same ones, nigga. I can go get a life sentence like anybody else. Or I can be successful like anybody else. I do understand this. The odds are slanted. They not in my favor, but I can do it. Go ahead, Fred. Thank you, brother.
No, I was gonna say I appreciate you, dog. Anthony, final remarks.
Yeah. I'm gonna get back to the box.
Sure.
Now, L was saying that PBC ain't giving many good fights. Talk Break, has given fights. Based on the marquee fights that they've done the equal share of marquee fights this year so far. All right. And between the two, what PBC has gave you bigger fights this year than Top Rank. Top Rank, the biggest fights they've given you, I would say, Devin Haney against that guy over there in Australia, and probably that Valdez and Stevens. But I mean, other than that, man, they really ain't had anybody that you've just been that you got to rush home, get home tonight. Got to hurry up for your Friday or Saturday night dinner with your family that y'all decide to go out. Got to hurry up and get back home for that fight. I mean, they've been able to make fights. They just hadn't been able to make all the fights that we want to see. I don't mean that we just got to, go to dissing everybody like that, man. That's the only part I don't get, man. But anyway, other than that, much respect to everyone on the show, man. I appreciate you, Fred. Brother. It's a good platform, man, to talk about things. So, keep it going, man.
Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate you, dog.
All right.
Yeah, man. I'll say this. I get mad at myself when I think about this sometimes. Not mad as in like, man, I want to beat myself up, but I'm like, I would have saw this shit coming a mile away, man, because from day one, I said it about Eddie Hearn and his business model. Come in here with all this money, with no intent, no game plan. And Al Haymon did the same thing. And now I believe we're at a pivotal point where now it's impacting more than just one boxer or two boxers. It's going to take a ripple through the entire boxing community because he can literally destroy the pay-per-view model. Two, he can lessen the value of all these fighters because if he floods the streets with these fighters, then half of them are going to get signed, half of them will not get signed, and now you have an unemployed sector of boxing, and it basically undermines the integrity of the sport. Now, I understand people saying, well, what about other people? It's not about them tonight, because when it was Eddie Hearn's turn, I spent $2,000 to go get Eddie Hearn. When it was Bob Arum's turn, I went and got Bob Arum. So right now, Al Haymon is on the Summer Jam screen. And the reality is he is destroying these fighters' potential. Even if Errol Spence is not fighting Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence should be fighting. Even if Keith Thurman is not fighting Errol Spence, Keith Thurman should be fighting, and so on and so forth. And two, he is forcing us as fans to pick up his tab. And you say, Fred, what do you mean by that? Is the fights he is giving us, he guaranteed us that they would be free. He promised us free boxing for all. Now, if you want to talk about integrity, if you want to talk about a man's word, he said, we won't be paying for fights. Keith Thurman said on the DS, we don't believe in pay-per-view. It's the same thing Eddie Hearn did. Same exact thing. And everyone is giving him credence, one, because of color of his skin. I raised my hand. I did the same thing, you know. And now I'm urging y'all, don't make the same mistakes that I made. You understand? Judge him on what he's producing. Judge him on his fruit. You know, and now we are at a pivotal point where literally media and fans can literally force his hand to say, make this fight, or we become Michael Fuller. And we're not buying anything. And these pay-per-views are declining. And the fact that Deontay Wilder is going on pay-per-view, it's going to destroy his brand. A percentage of his brand will die October 15th. Not because I didn't support him, but because people will not pay $75 for Robert Helenius. And they're going to see it as disrespect. And they're not going to pay attention to the sport of boxing. Because the people you want to attract are sports fans, not just the people who are just boxing fans. Like everybody in here is going to buy or find a way to watch Deontay Wilder. But Deontay Wilder, $75 versus Robert Helenius, and he's the only one promoting the fight, and people don't know who he's fighting. No one's not paying $75 because of just Deontay Wilder and the numbers that we asked for to make it a great pay-per-view, you know. And it's heartbreaking to see that we've supported Deontay Wilder, Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford had 3 million people watch him on ESPN. You know, Errol Spence had 40,000 people in the arena. Deontay Wilder has built this fan base into now it's like fucking like loyal. It's like a motherfucker. He's like a leader in some capacities. And now to see them get to this point, and the greed and the selfishness of one man has put a cap on their careers. And you can argue and say this, you can argue and say that. The fact is, there's nothing on ESPN or PBC schedule that says Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford this Saturday night. So whatever side of the fence you on, if you want to blame each of the fighters, feel free. But there's only one man that writes this contract, and his name is Al Haymon. You know, and Al Haymon at the end of the day is responsible. I am responsible. No matter how many mistakes Dre make, I am responsible for it. I'm the man of the household. If Lincoln is doing terrible in school, I am responsible for that. If Kennedy is, I'm responsible for that. And the same thing holds true for the boss. It's like the NFL football team. Who gets the trophy first? The owner. Oh, Tom Brady don't touch it. He touch it third. It goes to the coach. It may go to the GM, and then it's going to Tom Brady. So we got to understand. So we got to speak in the world in which we live in. You know, I know we choose to have choices, and that's fair. But the reality is, if you're going to blame someone, I think all of boxing should be blaming the people who write these checks, who write up these contracts. And if we do that, I think we can get the fight, because the point is to get this fight. And like I said, if Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford fight don't happen, we in big trouble. We are in big trouble. So come back tomorrow. So Jerry, come back tomorrow, 7:45. I appreciate you. You about to get out of here, go to bed?
I'm about to probably drive a couple of more hours, man. I was coming from Denver, man. I was going through a storm in these mountains, man. So
I'm glad.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. It was shitload of rain. I drove about 100 miles of mountain region in a fucking storm, but it's cool now though. I drove past it, got something to eat, wanted to come in on the show.
Thank you, dog.
So I'm not really that tired. I'm kind of amped right now, so
okay.
I'm gonna try to get it.
Well, rewatch this.
Definitely, man. Get you some rest, buddy. I know you're tired, brother. Love you, man. Appreciate
see you tomorrow. Love you, dog. See you tomorrow.
All right, brother. Later.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you guys coming through. Jerry, come in at 7:45 my time. I'll be done with my opening statement, and you can come in, and I'm sure Michael Fuller will come in right after you, and y'all can have at it. I think that'll be a cool conversation. Come in 7:45. So that's 10:45 your time, and you can have the opening statement. Feel free to come in, Mr. Fuller, 7:45 tomorrow, and y'all can hash it out. I'm interested in this conversation. I am. I'm gonna do put y'all on timers. he had 4 more minutes than me. I don't want to hear that. Oh man, I appreciate y'all coming through tonight, man. If we get the fight, everything is cured. Everything is cured. But I told you November 19th wasn't happening. It's impossible. It's impossible. When you don't have the money or the network, it's just simply impossible. You can't make the fight. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. We got the great debate, the race debate tomorrow. Oh yeah. I'm not sure if Michael Fuller is coming through, but Jerry is. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure if he hears Jerry's voice, he's gonna be inspired. It'd be great because there are people who say, fuck race, work. I don't let nothing stop me. I don't give. Find a way. That's why I just want Al Haymon, find a way to make these fights. We gotta have Spence and Crawford, man. Spence, I don't care what you guys say, they've done their part. Spence has done his part. It ain't we ain't gotta have no more conversations about what happened in 2018, 19, 20. We are here now. We are here. The fans deserve it. The fighters deserve it. That's all I say. Love y'all, man. I'll see y'all tomorrow, man. I appreciate y'all coming through. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Appreciate y'all, man. Holla at y'all tomorrow. Jerry, 7:45. Michael Fuller, 7:45, and we'll start the show like that. See you guys tomorrow. Peace, y'all.